How are we all feeling after that weekend? It was a bit of a roller coaster, wasn't it? There's a bit of red in the market, a bit of green for some. You know, I just hope that you all got to take a bit of time away from the screens, touch the grass, get out, pursue your hobbies, spend some time with your family, spend some time with your friends. Just remember what I say, zoom out. Nothing's that important. It's really about patience, the crypto market. And we've got a big week coming up, right? So, if you touch grass a bit over the weekend, you should be rejuvenated and ready to go for this week. You got Bitcoin potentially, could it break its all-time high this week? Maybe. We'll go into that a little bit later. Like the stablecoin bill is coming up. So will that get passed this week? Senator Luna seems to think it will. FTX is paying over $5 billion to creditors. Now that's starting May 30. So imagine if that money starts to flow into altcoins or even BTC. On May the 19th, XRP futures, they're going to officially debut on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, so CME, which is one of the largest derivatives markets globally. You got Michael Saylor saying that the BTC gold rush will be over, so buy Bitcoin now. It's like the old saying, right? When was the best time to plant a tree? Well, 20 years ago. When's the second best time? It's now. Same analogy for Bitcoin. Best time to buy was obviously in those early days. The second best time to buy? Right now. So, get out there, get into the market. What I want to do, speaking of markets, is we'll have a look at the markets now. We'll have a look at some of the indicators and we'll have a look at then some of the reasons why Bitcoin could break its all-time high. But anyway, let's get into the markets first. Put my seeing eyes on again. Okay, so market cap. Currently at 3.3, moving up to that 3.4. We're starting to get there. Volumes back up a little bit. It's at 133, nearly 134 billion. BTC still above 60. We do want to see that dominance start to come down at some point. We can see BTC here. It's at 103. We've got Ethereum. There was a dump, and we can see in the little chart there was a big dump earlier on for BTC. Something like 15 billion, something like that was sold. It was ridiculous, the amount anyway. But we are seeing quite a bit of red as we float through the market here. Again, we've seen that quite a bit over the last few days. Like we've seen lots of red around the marketplace for all these altcoins, right? I'm just seeing if there's anything big that'll jump out. Not really, nothing too, they're not massive, although it's red. And we're talking about the daily here. We're not talking about the weekly, although we are starting to see 7 days now turn into the red because that really good period we had a couple of weeks ago or a week and a bit ago, those days are rolling off now. So we're starting to see even the 7-day weekly now being red, which is not ideal, obviously, but we are still, it's the time that I look around for any good DCA opportunities in the tokens that I'm confident in, that I hold in my portfolio already. I'm really just looking at improving my bags and what I mean by that is I mean getting my average cost down for the bags that I hold if they're good projects and I'm confident in them. There's certain projects that I hold that I might not be as confident, so I'm not looking at increasing those bags. I'll just ride those bags for this run and see how they go. But look, overall, there's definitely more red than we are seeing green in the market at the moment. And we can see that by going straight into here, right into the crypto bubbles. I mean, funnily enough, we are still seeing those meme coins in the green. So you got Floki, Fartcoin, Whiff, Pepe, Doge. So it's just, it never ceases to amaze me. And that's what I keep saying about meme coins. Like, it's good idea to hold some in your portfolio, but again, as I say, I hold less than 5% of my portfolio in meme coins. It could be 6 now because they seem to be the thing that's doing okay. If we look at the 100 to 200, again, there's a lot more red, but you got Nero in there, you got Ape in there, Peanuts in there, Muse in there, Turbo's green, Baby Doge is green, Dog's green. Yeah. So it is something to keep an eye on with those memes. They're just people still love them. This I found interesting today as I was flicking through X and looking at some of the different news suppliers and that and information providers that I get my information from. Crypto Rank is one of the big ones. We look at Tron and the amount of USDT, they are the biggest. Usually, like USDT is on Tron, the movement on Tron is the biggest out of all the chains. And this here is a visual that just shows you how much bigger. So it's at 75 billion. Ethereum's at 63, which we would expect Ethereum to be quite big, right? But then, like, everything after that, Solana, like, it's at 2.3 against a 75 billion. It just shows you how much Tron is used for the movement of the USDT stablecoin. A couple of things that are coming up and people need to be aware of this week, especially this Pyth or Pyth, however you want to pronounce it one. It's saying here tokens to be unlocked is 21.3%. It's a large amount of the tokens on the Pyth, and that's an oracle. Saros, ZKJ, Melania's got a token unlock as well, so 2.25%. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some dumping that happens when that gets released. I just don't have a lot of confidence in the Trump or the Melania token really, but a lot of people have made some good money out of them. So you do you, as I always say. Whatever you want to do, it's your portfolio. You make your own decisions. Now we're talking about Bitcoin. A couple of things I wanted to look at is we can see here that there is talk. Could it hit its all-time high this week or before the end of May? And I feel like there is a strong possibility of that. I know the market's red today, but we know if you've been in crypto long enough, that can turn around in 2 seconds, right? So if we look at this, we can see that it did get to 106K. And I think some people are quoting 107, maybe CMC or somewhere like that. I don't know. But look, on CoinGecko, it's 106. We know this is showing 104. We know it's now at 103. And the all-time high we're looking to get to is 108.8, let's call it, okay? So what kinds of things are we looking at here? We can see the split. It's still good to see that 68.2% of supply is being held by individuals, okay? So governments hold 1.5. You got the funds in the ETF holding 6.4, and I'll show you in a sec, but we have seen, like last week, the last 3 days or whatever, last week had some good moves on the ETF front. And businesses we know are also growing. They're at 5.1% at the moment. Now we know Satoshi is like 1 million BTC. Lost is 1.58, it's 1.6, okay? All up, you've got about 2.5 to 2.6 million BTC that's never going to be circulating. So when they say there's 21 million, technically, yes, that's what was able to be mined from the beginning. But realistically, we're probably closer to 18.5, okay? And there's only 1.14 million BTC still to be mined. So we know that the contraction in the supply of the BTC should help drive the price. You get that supply shock at some point. We can see here from the far side, UK.co.uk, we can see BTC for last week. The last 3 days were pretty good for inflows into the ETFs. We can see here in the RSI that we're below the 70, which is what we look for. Above 70, it's overbought. So we're expecting it, but it's now below 70 at 62. So there's room for that to move up as well, which is positive from a buying Bitcoin perspective and the possibility that price could go up. What we're seeing here, so this is it goes back to 2022 July, but we can see the Bitcoin on exchanges. So the exchange reserve, we can see how that has been decreasing. And especially if we look, after October here last year, so that's probably going to be November, December-ish anyway, we can see how that supply on exchanges has decreased, meaning people are moving Bitcoin to their cold wallets. So they're moving it off the exchanges to their storage, which tends to mean they're not selling it, right? So they're storing that Bitcoin. Again, that impacts the supply and what's out there to be sold. And now, and the next thing is, if we get that leg up, Bitcoin currently is only below gold, Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple, and Amazon, and it's not that far behind Amazon. So, like, how long before that moves into the top 5 for top assets by market cap, right? So, there's a lot of signals. That stablecoin bill getting passed, just all that sort of news and the feeling in the market, I still feel is being positive, even though we're in a red day. Like, from an overall perspective, will it happen this week? Who knows? Get the magic 8 ball out. But could it happen this week? Definitely could happen this week. So there's a few things there for us to keep an eye on. There's a few indicators there that help the upside for the price and the potential of driving that to a new all-time high. So look, overall, I think there's definitely an opportunity for either this week or by the end of May, for us to hit. When does that fall? 31st is on Saturday, I think so. For us to get there by the end of this month, which would be exciting. That'd be really good news for the market, right? Definitely. But look, overall, I'm still positive as I have been. I'll remain to be. I think there's nothing in the markets. There's nothing in the data. There's nothing in the markets. There's nothing on a regulatory front or anything like that makes me change any of the things I've been stating recently. I still feel we're going to see that peak in Q4. At the moment, I'm not a financial advisor. Do all of your own research. I do have the video on why I feel that it's going to be Q4, so you can go and watch that video to understand why I feel that's where it's going to land. Could it land earlier? 100% it could land earlier. Could land in July. Could land in August. Could land in Q1, Q2 next year. No one knows, but I feel at the moment from the data I've looked at and the indicators I look at that it will be that Q4 landing. But look, there's still so much to happen in the next few months, and we'll get a better feel, I think, as we go through those few months. But look, there's definitely indicators saying that there's opportunity for the price to go up and potentially get to that all-time high this week. But look, anyway, that's it for today. Just a short one. If you found it useful, please hit that like button. Subscribe for more crypto updates. Click the bell notification so you're notified whenever I release a video. And let me know in the comments below if you think BTC is going to hit an all-time high this week. But anyway, I'll see you in the next one.